You never appreciate anything we do for you, my father said, cutting his turkey like my feelings didn't matter. My stepmother Sarah nodded, her smile sharp as the knife in his hand. Everyone at the table looked away, pretended they didn't hear. I sat there, fork frozen in my hand, trying not to cry. You're right, I whispered, my voice shaking. I should thank you for showing me what a real family isn't. The room went quiet. My father's face turned red. Sarah's smile disappeared. My stepbrother Jacob stared at his plate. I stood up slowly, picked up my glass of water, and held it high. Here's to the last Thanksgiving you'll ever see my face. Then I walked out. My name is Emma Carter. I'm 20 years old. And tonight I finally broke free. Before I tell you what happened next, drop a comment and let me know you're here with me, because what comes next will shock you. The apartment felt so empty when I got home. No voices, no laughter, just me and the quiet. I sat on my bed and cried for an hour. Then I opened my old photo albums, the ones I kept hidden under my bed. There I was, 8 years old, holding my first prize from the science fair. I remembered that day so clearly. My project won first place. The teacher said my name over the loudspeaker. I looked for my dad in the crowd. He wasn't there. Mom had died 2 years before. He'd come, but he was at Jacob's baseball game instead. Jacob needed me, he texted. You understand, right? I was 8. I didn't understand. I just felt alone. Then I found another picture. My 10th birthday. I'd saved my allowance for months to buy myself a cake because nobody remembered. I sang happy birthday to myself. That's when the pain really started growing inside me. 2 months after that birthday, something even worse happened. Mom had left me money. She put it in a special account before she got sick. For Emma's college, the paper said. She wanted me to follow my dreams. But one day I checked the account. Empty. Every single dollar gone. I called the bank, hands shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. Your father took it out, the lady said. He had permission because he's your parent. I confronted him that night. He didn't even look sorry. Jacob needs it for his new business idea, Dad said, eating dinner like nothing was wrong. You're young, you'll figure something out. Figure it out. That was my future, my mother's last gift to me, gone just like that. I worked 3 jobs after that. Coffee shop at sunrise, library after school, restaurant on weekends. My hands smelled like coffee and soap and grease. I fell asleep during class. Teachers thought I was lazy. They didn't know I was just surviving. Sarah called me once during those hard months, not to ask if I was okay, not to say she was sorry. Did you see Jacob's new car? She squealed into the phone. Your father is so proud. Jacob's business is doing amazing. My business, my mother's money. In a car that Jacob crashed 2 weeks later because he was texting. Nobody asked if I needed help. Nobody wondered why I looked so tired. I ate ramen for dinner 6 nights a week. I wore the same 3 outfits over and over. Once my shoe broke during my shift, and I had to tape it together in the bathroom. I looked at myself in that dirty mirror and barely recognized the girls staring back. Where did happy Emma go? When did I become invisible? But I kept going, because that's what you do when nobody's watching. You survive in the quiet. The day I decided to leave our town, it felt like the air was trying to hold me down. Everything reminded me of them. Dad's office building downtown. Sarah's favorite restaurant. Jacob's face on a poster for his stupid business. I couldn't breathe anymore. I packed 1 small bag, my laptop, Mom's old necklace, 3 shirts, 2 pairs of jeans. That was it. Then I remembered Aunt Grace, Mom's younger sister. She lived far away in the mountains in a tiny town where nobody knew my name. I hadn't seen her since Mom's funeral. She hugged me that day and whispered, "When you're ready, come find me." I didn't understand then. I was only 8. But now, at 20, I finally understood. The drive took 6 hours. Mountains rose around me like giants. The sky turned pink and orange like the world was saying, "You're going to be okay." When Aunt Grace opened her door, she didn't ask questions. She just pulled me into the warmest hug I'd felt in 12 years. "You're here," she said softly. "Now we can tell you the truth." Inside her small house, everything smelled like cinnamon and old books. She made me hot chocolate and sat me down at her kitchen table. "I've been keeping something safe for you," Aunt Grace said. She pulled out an old metal box from under the couch. Inside was a stack of papers, letters, documents, things that made my heart beat faster. "Your mom wrote this before she died," Aunt Grace said, handing me a letter in Mom's handwriting. My hands shook as I read it. "The college money is for Emma and only Emma. Nobody else can touch it. I'm writing this down so there's no confusion. My daughter deserves her DREAMS." Tears ran down my face. Mom protected me even after she was gone, but Dad took it anyway. Then Aunt Grace showed me bank statements, dates, numbers. Every dollar that disappeared went straight to Jacob's business account. "There's more," Aunt Grace said quietly. She showed me emails, messages between Dad and Sarah. "Emma won't notice," Sarah wrote. "She's too young to fight back." They planned it, every bit of it. But the worst part came next. Aunt Grace opened her laptop and showed me something that made my stomach drop. Computer records. Someone logged into my school account from a different location. The same week I worked on my big history project, the one I spent 2 months researching. That project disappeared from my computer the night before it was due. I got a 0. My teacher didn't believe me when I said someone stole it. But 3 days later, Jacob submitted a business plan that used my exact research. My words, my ideas. Everyone praised him, called him a genius, and I got detention for lying. "How did you get all this?" I asked Aunt Grace, my voice breaking. "Your mom asked me to watch over you," she said. "She knew your dad might try something, so I've been keeping records, quietly, carefully, waiting until you were old enough to understand." I looked at all the proof spread across the table. Papers that showed the truth. Finally, I had evidence. Not just feelings, not just hurt. Real, actual proof. When I got back to town, everything looked different. Like I was seeing it clearly for the first time. A letter came to my apartment 2 days later. Fancy paper. Gold edges. Dad's lawyer's name at the top. My hands shook as I opened it. "We invite Emma to voluntarily remove herself from family decisions and future inheritance," it said in big, fancy words. Basically. They wanted me to disappear, to pretend I never existed, to make it easy for them. They even used words like harmony and peace. Like I was the problem, like I was the one who stole and lied. For a second, I almost laughed. After everything they did, they thought I'd just go away quietly. I made myself tea, even though my hands were shaking. Then I wrote back in simple words. "I don't want anything from people who never wanted me, but I'm keeping the truth." I signed it, sealed it, and sent it back. They thought that was the end, but it was really just the beginning. That night, I sat at my computer for 3 hours. I organized every piece of evidence. Mom's letter, the bank records, the computer logs, emails between Dad and Sarah. Everything Aunt Grace had saved. Then I typed one email. Subject line, "You should all know this." I attached every single file. Then I sent it to everyone. The bank, Dad's company, Sarah's work friends, Jacob's business partners, local newspapers. I even sent it to the people who came to Thanksgiving dinner. When I hit send, my whole body felt lighter, like I'd been carrying rocks in my pockets for 12 years and finally dropped them. An hour later, my phone started buzzing. Messages, calls, emails, I turned it off. I didn't need to hear their excuses. The next morning, the news websites had a new headline: "Local businessman accused of stealing daughter's college fund." By afternoon, it was everywhere. People shared it, commented, asked questions. The truth spread faster than their lies ever could. That same night was Dad's big work party. He'd been planning it for months. Fancy hotel, important people, a night to show off. I didn't go, obviously, but my friend Melissa sent me updates. "Your dad looks sick," she texted. "People keep whispering and starring." Sarah tried to give a speech, but her voice kept cracking. Dad's boss pulled him aside. People left early. By midnight, the party was basically empty. Jacob posted on social media, "These are lies, my sister is crazy." But nobody believed him. The comments filled with questions. Why would she lie? Where's the proof it's fake? They couldn't answer, because the truth doesn't need defending. Over the next week, everything fell apart for them. Dad's company opened an investigation. Sarah's friends stopped calling. Jacob's business partners backed out. Everything they built on lies started crumbling, and I didn't feel happy exactly. I just felt free. They tried to fix it with more lies. Dad did an interview. "My daughter is troubled. She's been confused since her mother died. We've tried to help her." Sarah posted online. "Sometimes family members struggle with reality. We love Emma and hope she gets help." They made me sound crazy, like I was the problem, like I imagined everything. For a moment, I felt that old fear coming back. What if people believe them? What if nobody trusts me? Then my phone rang. Aunt Grace. "Check your email," she said, calm and strong. "Right now." There it was, an official document from the bank, with dates, signatures, and proof that Dad transferred Mom's money without proper permission. It showed he forged some papers. The bank was investigating HIM now. I forwarded it to the same reporter who wrote the first story. Within 2 hours, a new article appeared. "Documents confirm father illegally took daughter's inheritance." This time, they couldn't lie their way out. The proof was too clear. Dad's company fired him 3 days later. Effective immediately, the email said. Sarah's job put her on temporary leave. Jacob's business collapsed when all his investors pulled out. Nobody wanted to work with people who steal from family. The news kept covering it. People I didn't even know started recognizing me at the grocery store. "You're so brave," an old lady told me near the apples. "I'm proud of you," a young mom said at the coffee shop. Strangers treated me with more kindness than my own family ever did. Dad tried calling. I didn't answer. Sarah sent texts. "You DSDROA dias. Are you happy now?" I blocked her number because it wasn't about DSDROANG them. It was about telling the truth. They destroyed themselves by thinking they could bury me in silence. That evening, I sat on my tiny apartment balcony and watched the sunset. The sky turned purple and gold. For the first time in 12 years, I felt peace. Not because they suffered, but because I was finally free from their lies. A week later, I did something simple. I made dinner, just spaghetti and garlic bread, nothing fancy. I invited the people who actually cared. Aunt Grace drove all the way from the mountains. My friend Melissa came with flowers. My coworker David brought ice cream. We sat around my small table in my tiny apartment and just talked. We laughed, told stories, ate too much bread. Nobody mentioned Dad or Sarah or Jacob. We just enjoyed being together. Looking around that table, I realized something important. Family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up, who tells the truth, who loves you even when it's hard. These people, this was my real family. After dinner, I drove to the cemetery alone. I found Mom's grave under the old oak tree. I knelt down and placed fresh flowers by her stone. "I kept your promise safe," I whispered. "And I'm okay now, finally okay." The wind blew through the leaves, gentle and warm. For just a second, I felt like Mom was there. Proud, smiling, free. Back home, my phone had 7 new voicemails, all from Dad or Sarah. "You've ruined everything," Dad's voice said, angry and broken. "I hope you're proud of yourself," Sarah hissed. I listened to 10 seconds of the first one, then I deleted all of them. I didn't need their anger. I didn't need their apologies either. I just needed peace. And peace doesn't come from them. It comes from me. I sat by my window and looked out at the city lights. They called me ungrateful on Thanksgiving. But I've never been more grateful in my whole life. Grateful I found the courage to walk away. Grateful for Aunt Grace protecting the truth. Grateful for friends who became my real family. Grateful for the strength Mom gave me, even from heaven. Some people think revenge means hurting others back, but real revenge is freedom. It's living well. It's telling the truth and walking away with your head high. That's what I did. And I'd do it again. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Let me know you're here, because none of us should feel alone. We're stronger together. This is Emma Carter, signing off from Revenge Voice. Remember, you deserve the truth, and you deserve to be free.